We got to get into the top story of the evening. We got to get into the top story of the evening, guys. Oh my God. By the way, guys, make sure you guys are visiting my new TikTok shop. It's a new way for you to support the channel. TikTok shop. Father ACAB, make sure you guys visit the TikTok shop. I have a lot of products there. I'm going to be developing some new shots for you guys, some new products for you guys. Just something just to kind of like have fun, make a little cash on the side, but also provide you guys with great products and great services. So with that being said, guys, let's get into the show. Let's get into the show. Because the show is going to be interesting tonight. The show is going to be interesting tonight. Secret Service examining how suspected Coco, as our Cuban brothers and sisters would say, ended up at the White House. An initial test of the white powdery substance found inside the White House on Sunday evening showed it was cocaine. Coco. President Biden and his family were away when it was discovered. That does not mean that it did not belong to Joe Biden or Hunter Biden or Kamala Harris or whoever it was, man. Somebody was in love with the Coco. Somebody was in love with the Coco. Oh, interesting. So let me get this straight, Joe Biden. Let me make sure I get this right. You got black rappers all over the country getting RICO charges, right? RICO charges, and you know, the hands of one is the hands of all. I heard that from so many law enforcement officers. I heard that so often. So where's all the RICO charges for President Joe Biden? Where's the RICO charges for Kamala Harris? Where's the RICO charges for Hunter Biden? Because someone was selling this substance, because you don't just materialize this cocaine. It came from somewhere, right? So where's the RICO charges for Joe Biden? Because, you know, you being a president doesn't really matter, or you even being a former president, or even a former vice president, that don't matter. I'm not supporting Donald Trump. However, you can prosecute him, right? So let's prosecute Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Hunter Biden, and all the White House staff on RICO charges, the same way you did Young Thug and so many other rappers, right? You do that to black rappers constantly, right? We see black rappers left and right getting hit with RICO charges. They getting hit with RICO charges. So where's the RICO charges? Because President Joe Biden, racist Joe Biden, is the one who wrote the 1994 crime bill. And the first version of that crime bill, he co-authored with Strom Thurmond. Now, a lot of people don't know that. But let me go ahead and look that up. Let me go ahead and show you why I say Joe Biden should be hit with RICO charges. Joe Biden, Strom Thurmond, crime bill. Oh, see, the first one was the 1991 crime bill. It wasn't the 94 crime bill. 94 crime bill came later. A 91 through 92 crime bill. See, the Biden-Thurmond Violent Crime Control Act of 1991 was co-authored by Strom Thurmond. Strom Thurmond is one of the most racist politicians in American history. In American history. In fact, let me show you something real quick. Strom Thurmond, racism. I mean, the racist filibuster we can't afford to forget. This guy did a filibuster to try to stall the Civil Rights Act. That's how racist Strom Thurmond was, right? That's how racist he was, right? The filibuster was carried out for more than 24 hours to prevent the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1957. So we could have did a Civil Rights Act in 57, but a 24-hour filibuster by Strom Thurmond prevented that. Joe Biden wrote a bill with this guy, the Violent Crime Control Act, and then we know that the 94 crime bill disproportionately targeted black folks. It's the same man who now has cocaine, or cocaine powder, the artificial snow found in the White House. So based on the 91 Crime Act and also the 94 Crime Act, I think he should be brought up on RICO charges, because I think that's ridiculous. I think that if you're going to be holding black men and black rappers to one standard, you should be held to the exact same standard. So I want you to understand something, right? This substance was found on the West Wing in the White House near the library. A library is where Hunter Biden is known to frequent. A small amount of a white powdery substance was found in the White House on Sunday evening, according to a person familiar with the episode. And an initial test by emergency response workers determined it was cocaine. President Biden and his family were away at Camp David when a uniformed Secret Service agent found the substance during a patrol of the West Wing around 6 p.m. on Sunday, the person said, prompting a brief shutdown of some of the White House campus as response workers assessed whether the substance was hazardous. Later that evening, a test of the substance by hazmat crew officials returned the result. We have a yellow bar saying cocaine hydrochloride. Oh boy. Where's the RICO charges, Mr. Biden? An official said on their dispatch sent at 8:49 p.m. and logged by a website that gathers the agency's radio communications. A person familiar with the investigation who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss an open inquiry said that the radio dispatch discussing the test of the substance was placed between the District of Columbia Fire Department's hazmat team and other officials within the department. So it was tested by officials, by the actual authorities, and it was discovered that, oh boy, it was the kind of artificial snow that helps you give the special blow. You know what I mean? If you know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about. See, that's interesting. So you can write crime bills with known racists who do filibusters where we could have had a Civil Rights Act in 57, but this man did a 24-hour. Senator Strom Thurmond from South Carolina. He was my senator. He was my congressman. He's from my state. This is how I know so much about Joe Biden and Senator Strom Thurmond, because I'm from the soil. I know these stories. My grandmother told me these stories. My grandmother told me we could have had a Civil Rights Act back during the 50s if it was not for freaking Strom Thurmond. She told me this. That's why I remember that. That's how I knew to go look that up. That's how I knew about the crime act, because my grandmother said, wait a minute, they got a crime act for this man? How in the world can Joe Biden do a freaking crime act with this man? She was talking about that bill when they were actually drafting it the first time. So you can drive that actually targeted black men, and you wrote it with freaking Strom Thurmond, so we know what the first original framework was built off of. It was built on a South Carolina Dixiecrat racist, white supremacist from South Carolina, my state. I met his daughter. His daughter's black, but guess what? He's racist. It's known. Do you think that every white man who goes over to freaking Japan and marries a freaking Japanese woman, do you think that suddenly means he loves every Japanese person? Of course not. It don't work that way. A whole lot of slave masters have black children too. Don't mean they love them. It just means they love one thing. So as you can see, you can write these crime bills with these known racist white supremacist Dixiecrats. But where's the RICO charges for Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Kamala Harris, her husband, and everybody at the White House staff? Because all I know is if the police came in my house right now and found the same substance, everybody who's a freaking adult is getting arrested. The hands of one is the hands of all. How do I know? I work corrections. That's how I know. I worked corrections. I know this. I'm well aware. I'm a law enforcement whistleblower. That's how I know. So where's the RICO charges? Why is Joe Biden not being treated the exact same way as Breonna Taylor was treated, huh? Breonna Taylor, you ain't found no substance where she lives at. She was just associated with somebody who she broke up with. Had a new boyfriend and everything, and people still blame her for what happened to her. Why in the world are there no RICO charges for Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Kamala Harris, and everybody at the White House? The exact same way that if the freaking pigs showed up to my home or your home or the common American, but especially if you're black, the same way they will show up to your home and put you behind bars, throw you in a cage, deprive you of your liberty and your freedom. So why is Joe Biden not being held to the exact same standard? See, that's called a double standard. That's disgusting. Nobody should ever vote for this man until we find out if he's on something while he's in office, because that is a disqualifier. That's a problem. We found that substance where you live, sir. That's a problem. Until Joe Biden should be drug tested and those results should be made public. Because if I find something where you live, that's a problem for me, sir. My taxes go towards your salary, and I don't want nothing going up your nose, sir. All I know is if you can charge black rappers, if you can put Young Thug and so many black rappers behind bars, give them RICO charges, right? If you can do that with your intelligence agencies and your law enforcement pigs who you chose to fund even more, despite the fact that black people told you to not do so, if you can do that, Joe Biden, you can be charged with RICO charges. Sounds fair to me. Sounds fair to me. Sounds fair to me. Hey, did I say anything that was wrong? Are there not black rappers and black men who are being charged with RICO charges based on the exact same substance being found in their cars, in their homes, trailer parks, mobile homes, townhomes, multifamily homes, apartments, loft, penthouse? It don't matter. You get black men who are being charged with the same stuff, right? So why is Joe Biden not behind bars based on the same principle that he set in 1994 when he sat down there and passed that crime bill, knowing fully well what was going to happen? Because once again, might I remind you, Joe Biden, the original Violent Crime Act, the original Violent Crime Control Bill, S 1241. Biden-Thurman Violent Crime Control Act of 1991, that was co-authored by Senator Strom Thurmond, who is a known racist, hates black people. In fact, hated us so much, I want to remind you, hated us so much that in 1957, we could have had a civil rights, an actual civil rights bill. We could have had that in the 50s. This man did a 24-hour filibuster to stop it. To stop it. To stop it. Right? Right? It's amazing. It's amazing. Joe Biden will write that bill with this known racist, but then he doesn't want to be held to the exact same standard that you set for the average, common, everyday American. And it's not just black people. Hey, there's some white folks who was simply, they became addicts. But guess what? You get caught by the cops, you go into prison. How is it fair for that to happen to even a white American, but it don't happen to the president? See, this is why white America needs to also turn away from Joe Biden. This is absurd. You are the president of the United States of America, and we found this substance where you live, sir. That's a problem for me. That's a problem for me. Because if you found that in my home, if the police showed up right now and found that in my home, you would take my kid from me. I've saw it in family court a lot. You would take my kid from me. So how is it fair that you could take my kid from me based on you finding the exact same substance in my home, but you can't be charged or even looked at? You can't even get a drug test. No, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and everyone at the White House should be drug tested so that we know they are fit for service. You cannot be an addict. You cannot be an addict and be president. I want to know you are fit for service. Because to tell you the truth, you told black people a lot of things, and a lot of people think that this man might have dementia. Well, you told us you were going to do reparations. You said hate crime bill that was going to be for us. You said that you were going to actually reform the police. You said a lot of things, and I'm thinking to myself, did you lie to us, or were you just simply doing lines? See, that would explain why you forgot all that stuff, because if you're doing lines, hey, I would forget things too. But at this point, based on the things that you said and things that you've actually flip-flop on, well, I'm going to say now that that's probably chalked up to cocaine. So he should be drug tested, and the results should be public to the American people. We pay your salary. We found that in your home. That's only fair. Don't like it tough. Don't like it tough. See, I make it simple. I don't want to hold Joe Biden to a high standard. I want to hold him to the same standard he set for young black men. Same standard. Not an extra standard, the same standard. That's it. That's it. That's it. Now, we are going to get into the next story. The next story is going to be interesting. The next story is going to be interesting. Do you remember this guy? NBA reporter Nick Friedel has been fired from ESPN. Now, you don't know who Nick Friedel is. Let me show you something real quick. Nick Friedel is the same guy involved with Kyrie Irving. You remember the same guy who made the whole Kyrie Irving thing pop off. Same guy. He's been fired by ESPN. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, see, sports media rallies around ESPN's Nick Friedel over Kyrie Irving standoff. Quote, I hope that clip is shown in journalism classes around the world, around the country, end quote. If there's one thing that free thinkers like Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving have shown us, is that for as much as they love to present their poorly presented arguments as undeniable facts, they bristle as even the slightest criticism of their unimpeachable intellect. ESPN reporter Nick Friedel showcase what happens when you not only push back on their misguided rhetoric, but also stand your ground while they lose their cool. Wait. This man, Kyrie Irving, only posted a tweet. They posted a tweet. Listen, Irving made headlines on Thursday when he shared a link with his massive Twitter and Instagram following to a 2018 movie titled Heroes to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. Wait. He posted a link. A single link. Mind you, Ezra Miller assaulted a woman, and he was allowed to go star in the Flash movie. They wanted to cancel Kyrie Irving for a tweet. A tweet. Now, fast forward, Kyrie Irving just signed a brand new contract with the Dallas Mavericks. And Nick Friedel, he's been fired by ESPN, baby. Oh, my God. Karma is a mistress you don't want to test because she's brutal. Karma is brutal, man. Karma is brutal. You do not want to upset Karma because Karma will come for you and she takes no prisoners. Awkward. NBA reporter Nick Friedel brutally axed by ESPN and cuts just hours after appearing live on First Take. Oh my goodness. Woo! They say you ain't got to go home, but you got to get somebody here. NBA reporter Nick Friedel has been let go from ESPN in the company's long list of cuts, and it happened at a questionable time. Friedel appeared on live television during Friday's edition of First Take and will be axed by the network hours later. Wow. So they let this man get on TV, get all dressed up, all on TV, and they let him go. Oh, man. Look at this man. Nick Friedel. Oh, man. The 39-year-old analyst was alongside host Victoria Harlan, NBA insider Brian Windhorst, and radio personality Freddie Coleman on Friday. And the NBA analyst went viral after comparing Philadelphia 76ers star James Harden's looming trade to his dating life. Hours after his appearance, Friedel was reportedly added to ESPN's layoff on Friday, Oh, according to a front office sports writer, Michael McCarthy, Friedel began his career at ESPN in 2009 while based in Chicago. Oh man. Oh man. ESPN, they cutting back, man. And your boy Nick Friedel, who started all that smack with Kyrie Irving. I tell you, man, Lady Karma is brutal. Lady Karma is brutal. You know, I want to go look that up. Let me see. Kyrie Irving signs new contract. I just want to put something side by side. Oh, man. Oh, man. Kyrie, he just signed a brand new contract. Oh, my God. Look at all that money. This brother is about to make all this money. He just signed a 3-year, $126 million contract with the Dallas Mavericks, including $126 million guaranteed and an annual average salary of $42 million. In 2023 through 2024, Irving will earn a base salary of over $38 million, almost $39 million, while carrying a cap hit of close to $39 million. This brother is making nothing but money compared to your boy over here, Nick Friedel, who is out of a job. Nick Friedel, who's the one that started all the mess with Kyrie Irving to begin with, tried to ruin this man's career, tried to have this man removed from the NBA. Whew. But then your boy Nick Friedel, man. Oh, Nick. I kind of feel bad for him, man. I almost feel bad for Nick. But, you know, I feel great for your brother Kyrie over here. I feel great for your brother Kyrie over here. Your brother Kyrie over here, he looking pretty. That brother Kyrie, he looking great. That brother, he making butter. Butter, bread, and cheese, okay? Oh, man. See, this is why it don't pay. This is why it doesn't pay to target black men and try to use all kind of claims of bigotry and nonsense to go after a black man. See, let this be a lesson. The ancestors protected Kyrie Irving. The ancestors protected this brother. The ancestors intervened. The ancestors not only guaranteed that this brother would get a brand new shoe deal, they not only guaranteed this brother would find a brand new team to play for, they guaranteed that the person who mess with their anointed, their chosen, their beloved, a pillar in the black community. The ancestors said, hold our beer. Nick Friedel, anti-black racism does not pay. Anti-black racism has a cost, sir. And anti-black racism has you out of a job. I really hope Nick Friedel finds more work. I don't want the man to be without a job. However, I really hope that he does take some what was those they wanted Kyrie to do some cultural sensitivity courses, you know, some racial training. I think he's definitely in line for before I would hire him. If I'm a boss at a sports company, before I would hire him, I would say you need some training, sir, to understand what black people go through and to also know how to not gaslight and also attack black men and try to turn the media against them. Not only did you fail, sir, you got hit with an Uno reverse. You tried to cancel him, but instead your career at ESPN has been canceled. Deleted. So I want to give a shout out to Kyrie Irving. I'm going to give a shout out to everybody who supported that brother. Also a shout out to the ancestors, because let me tell you something. When you mess with a good brother, there's always consequences. And there's some forces out here that we don't understand, man. Things that just happen. It's almost like it's supernatural. I believe it is. You don't upset the ancestors, man. They will get you. They'll get you every time. They'll get you every time. They will get you every time. Let's get into this story, man. Right? Let's get into this story, man. What is the cost of racism? More lawmakers are embracing reparations for black people. So a lot of black people and white people see racism and reparations differently. We're going to discuss that, man. We're going to discuss this. This is from USA Today. As President Joe Biden and Congress have failed to deliver on promises of police accountability and amid a conservative-led backlash against diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, many black Americans are uplifting a centuries-old debate around reparations for slavery as the closest pathway to racial equality. Ahead of the July 4th holiday, more than 45% of Americans said racism is a big problem or the biggest problem facing the U.S., according to a new USA Today Suffolk University poll. About 38% of respondents said racism is a problem, but not one of the biggest problems facing the nation. Only about 14% of Americans said racism is not a problem. The poll comes during what many see as a racial crossroads for the country, spotlighted by the U.S. Supreme Court ruling Thursday that banned affirmative action in college admissions, even though we know it primarily benefits white women, right? Black Americans' views differ greatly from those of whites, Hispanics. So there's this union of Hispanic Americans, right? Who many of them believe themselves to be white. And I can tell you, my wife is Mexican. My wife is, she comes from a culture, whereas, you know, and she's dated black dudes like her entire life, and she's only really married men of color. But she spent 5 years in Morocco. So understand something. She understands a lot of the history. And with that being said, she tells me about how a lot of Hispanic people, particularly Hispanic men, have this machismo culture, whereas they believe they are superior to those who are darker. And the lighter that you are, the more you feel like you are superior to the others. There's this term called Mejorar la raza. It is it means to lighten the race or improve the race, which means to make it lighter. It's a very common sentiment you'll find in not only Mexico, but also in South America. Now, race has already been tossed around in the early stages of the 2024 presidential campaigns as Republicans Nikki Haley and Tim Scott, both of South Carolina, have trotted out their ethnic heritage as examples of how far the country has come. Wow. Yeah, of course. But what's clear is that the U.S. becomes more diverse. But what's clear is that as the U.S. becomes more diverse, how Americans rank racism as an issue is largely determined by their heritage. An overwhelming 79% of black Americans said racism is either the biggest problem or a problem in the U.S., according to the U.S. Today Suffolk University survey. That far exceeded the 39% of whites and 46% of Hispanics who said the same. On the flip side, 17% of whites said racism isn't a problem, joined by 13% of Hispanics. So understand something. 13% of Hispanics who responded to this poll literally said racism is not a problem. Even amongst Hispanics, that should be sacrilege. That should be shocking. Well, not shocking, but it should be appalling. It shouldn't shock you because we know there's a culture of white supremacy amongst the Hispanic community, but especially in the U.S. Because I want to remind you, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, their leaders are Hispanic. Stephen Rose, his mama is Hispanic, and Enrique Tarrio, well, he's Enrique Tarrio, leader of the freaking Proud Boys. What is that telling you? The majority of the deputy gangs, the majority membership of deputy gangs, not only in California but around the country, Latino. A lot of people don't actually know that. I'm gonna show you that real quick. Deputy gangs, mostly Latino males. Find that one. So this is from the LAist, right? I want to find that real quick. This is when Sheriff Alex Villanueva was still the sheriff of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. His lawyer even wrote a cease and desist letter to the LA County Board of Supervisors claiming it was racist to refer to gangs since the department is mostly Latino. So not only are most of the deputy gangs in California Latino, but the then sheriff called it racist, right? Called it racist because most of the department, right, was Latino. This is from Spectrum News, right? It's from Spectrum News. Deputies with gang claims can move forward versus former colleagues who were deputy gangsters. 8 sheriff's deputies who say they were pressured to quit or leave the East Los Angeles station by a clique of mostly Latino deputies known as the Bandidos can move forward with part of their case against their former colleagues, a judge ruled Wednesday. This is back on April 26th of 2023. This year. So most of these gangs, most of these deputy gangs are Latino, right? Most deputy gangs, at one point, they were mostly white, right? At one point, they were mostly white, right? But right now, they're mostly Latino. They're mostly, here's an article from 2018 from Vox. A new lawsuit describes a violent gang in LA County. Its members are deputy sheriffs. The Bandidos say they're a fraternal club for LA deputies, but critics allege the group violently harasses citizens and other officers. Right? So I want you to see this. You see, I didn't just make that up. The lawsuit alleges a pattern of officer harassment, intimidation, and retaliation. The 63-page lawsuit accuses the Bandidos, a male-only, predominantly Latino clique, who the FBI is also watching, of targeting, harassing, and intimidating other Latino officers not in the group, as well as other civilians. So as you can see, of course, there's going to be a bunch of Latino people who don't believe that racism is a problem when the leader of the Proud Boys is a Latino male, when the leader of the Oath Keepers, Latino male, when there's a rise, when you had the LA City Council and who was very much racist, when you have the very much racist Latino gangs in Los Angeles and California in general, in New York, around the country, and on top of that, you got a bunch of Latino people who don't seem to believe that racism is a problem, according to this poll. Not to mention, they are the majority of deputy gangs. The closer we get to 2040 or 2050, where the Hispanic community is going to be the majority, the closer we get to that, the more true that statement is gonna become. Just by the numbers. So long as there's deputy gangs, you're gonna have to pull from Latino officers eventually. But they're already the majority. So, astoundingly, the pollster said not a single black respondent said racism was not a problem in the survey. Right? Not a single black person said it wasn't a problem. But we can't seem to get solidarity. We can't seem to get solidarity. We can't seem to get solidarity, man. That is amazing, isn't it? That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the show tonight, man. I wanted to make it a short show because it's a holiday and I want you guys to enjoy your 4th. I don't celebrate it. It's not a Liberty holiday for me or my folks. is white folks celebrating being free from the British. Until my people are free, I'm not celebrating your liberation. I used to, but I've developed better judgment. But until then, guys, be safe. Until next time, horns up, peace out, good night, and good luck.